Hey guys, hello. We don't have a lot of time, and the topic is pretty big, right? And I think we can say right away that in the end of the speech, I think we will not have a Q&A session, but you will have a lot of other opportunities where you can ask the questions, try out the cloud, see how it works. There's going to be the boot. I will explain in probably one of the last slides. But before we start, I want everyone to raise their hands who today already have tried the Zabbix cloud, who signed up, created their first node. More. That's it? Really? Okay, then there's going to be more news in the next slides. What a cloud actually is, and as Alexei told in the keynote, well, it's basically the Zabbix in the clouds, right? The SaaS platform, and I think the important point is that you as a Zabbix cloud user or potential user, you get to use just the pretty part, right? You don't need to care about everything that's under the hood, like the black screen, console, tuning, terminal, whatever. You get to use just the monitoring product. And why I ask who actually already have tried a Zabbix cloud, because a couple of days ago, I think, Tuesday, in the morning, we actually released the cloud. And I think it's important to mention that you know how it usually goes with a product release, you set a date, let's say October 1, and something happens, so you need to delay it a little bit. We had completely opposite, because something around a month ago, we had the crazy idea to release the cloud during the summit, I guess right now on the stage, but because of different reasons, we still decided to go faster and release it in October 1. But important thing is that also the cloud is released as early access product. And many people ask, okay, but what does it actually mean? Is there some sort of limited functionality or, I don't know, any other limitations? And to be honest, there's none. Early access has everything that right now we want and can see in the Zabbix cloud. You have access to all of the functionality, no restrictions. The only limitation is that we are limiting and manually approving all the applications for the cloud. So whenever you sign up, we will have to manually approve you before you get into the console and able to create your own nodes. Where you can create them, already mentioned, 7 different regions. Now, in reality, there's no, let's say, big technical limitations to extend to that, so I guess we'll get to the point as the demand comes. 7 different tiers and 5 different regions. But, so what are the benefits? And as I mentioned, you don't need to worry about anything. You just deploy your cloud node, same Zabbix, good old one that you know, within 5, maybe 7-ish minutes for us to make sure that everything is actually running. And you can start setting up the monitoring. You don't need to worry about what kind of database do I need to choose? What should be the parameters for my database configuration files, or how to optimize my Zabbix server config file, what to do with this, what to do with that. And then Monday in the morning, you come to the office and find out that there was some security vulnerability for some version of, I don't know, again, database or some third-party dependency, whatever. You don't need to worry about anything of that. So that becomes a full responsibility of us, Zabbix, and a Zabbix Cloud team to make sure that the software, the Zabbix, the product is always up to date, secure, and ready to deliver what you actually are expecting out of it. So basically, welcome to the cloud. And as I said, in the beginning, I asked raise the hands, right, and said there's going to be a surprise. And the address is pretty simple. It's cloud.zabbix.com. And I said that we're in the early access and we're manually approving all the applications. But for all of those who have not tried a cloud yet, I do encourage you to, I don't know, either now or maybe in the break, coffee break, whatever, go to the cloudzabbix.com, sign up, and I'll sort of promise to confirm all of you, let's say today, not right after the speech, but today, you'll have the chance to try out the Zabbix cloud. About the tiers. So what can you expect? And it's important to understand and know that the Zabbix cloud, it's not a solution for someone who is very small. And the Zabbix is also not a solution for someone who is very big, because the Zabbix cloud is a solution like for everyone. And anyone, even like some big corporation or someone who just likes IT, home lab, whatever, and wants to monitor a couple of servers at their home, they have entry point. And the entry point is a nano instance, which is capable to deliver 50 values per second, which is something around like 5,000 of the metrics, and I think we'll have to talk more about like how actually, what is the metric and how it looks like, because it depends on the update interval. And if you don't go too crazy with monitoring the stuff every second, if you, let's say, gather the data like once per 5 minutes, you can really get at thousands of the metrics. 10 gigabytes always included, and as you go, as your environment grows and the trust in the product grows as well, you can always upgrade, increase your tier, and monitor more and more stuff. Pricing, what we found out is a very common question for the last 3 days. Despite the fact we never actually try to hide the pricing. It's available whenever you log into the cloud, and to log in you need to just sign up. There's no paywall, there's no wall to provide the credit card details or billing information. Everything is like available right away, and it looks like this. Numbers can change, the compute remains the same, storage is something that you can play around based on your needs. Someone might need to store the data only, let's say, for 1 day to, I don't know, analyze it with the triggers, process it, receive alerts, and throw it away because we don't need the pretty graphs. Then you'll have a chance to save some money because obviously you're going to need the less storage. For those who want to keep the history for year, 2, 5, you can increase your storage, and these values are like recommended, what we think would be suitable for this tier and this amount of NVPS. But you can increase your storage size up to 16 terabytes, even for the nano tier. So how to deploy? How complicated it is? It isn't. This is the only screen that you actually need to work in to get your Zabbix Cloud node up and running within something like 5 minutes. So the only thing that you need to choose is a node name, how you want to call it, and that's going to be also the entry point for your Zabbix frontend, .zabbix.cloud. Choose the region. As I mentioned right now, there's 5 of them. Most likely, sort of definitely, there's going to be more with the time. And the compute tier. Yeah, like as I said previously, the part with cent per metric, we see that it's been confusing to many users who want to try out the cloud, but basically the most important metric here is the new values per second. So 50 VPS will cost you $50 with 10 gigabytes included. If you need more disk space, just move the slider. If you want to start small, you can upgrade the disk size later on, tomorrow, week after, increase the compute size, do whatever. And it was like really a crucial point to make Zabbix available for majority, like not only for the big companies and the big corporations, but really for just some technical geek who is monitoring some of the devices at his home, who, despite the fact of being like a technical geek, so he probably likes doing all the CLI stuff and whatever, but still doesn't want to spend time upgrading security patches, everything, so he can just pay $50 a month and always have up-to-date, upgraded, secured, prepared Zabbix instance. Node configuration. So what you can do with your node whenever you deploy it, because again, we released on a Tuesday. I'm closely following all the social media, LinkedIn, whatever, to hear out the feedback. And another one thing is that it's very difficult for people, and I guess mostly for existing Zabbix users, to let go the black screen. So many people are asking, like, cool, this is nice, but where's the SSH? I want to log into my node and do some tuning, whatever. You don't. You don't need the SSH. All of that, as I said, is like our responsibility to make sure that it works perfectly fine. The only configuration that you need will be available in the Cloud UI, which is like the main control panel of all of your instances. And it's not like you can have just one instance for your profile. You can have more. So you can create like 5 instances in different regions with different configuration. The tabs that we have right now are like the access filters, where you have the ability to set up all the firewall rules. And again, one of the common questions is about the firewall rules, security, and everything. One of the tough decisions was related to this, and without like going long into discussion and different things that we thought, right now everyone who deploys their own Zabbix Cloud node, the node also is assigned with a static IP address. So you can easily whitelist and adjust all of the firewalls only for your node and just make it work. Additionally, of course, we're in the clouds, and you probably want to monitor something that might be located in, I don't know, data center, whatever, so somewhere on-premise, and everyone are worried about the security, like how will you transfer all of the data and also the configuration. So encryption is there for you if you want to encrypt communication between the Zabbix components, like the server in the clouds and the proxy in your office. You can use encryption, just upload the certificates. We will do all the magic in the background. You configure your second endpoint like the same proxy, and there you go. You have the encrypted communication between the Zabbix components. Upgrade, talk about it. Backups, yeah, you also have the ability like to back up your own instance, and we provide something also automatically that's going to be in the next slides. History retention period. If you are Zabbix users, you're probably used to do that stuff in the UI of the Zabbix front end. As far as it goes, like for the history, trends, and the audit log, the settings are in the Cloud UI. So in the Zabbix front end itself, what you get are sessions and events. Like history, all the retention settings are here. And the maintenance, which we also talk a bit later about. So scale as you go. If you started with the smallest tier, Nano, $50, and you want to grow, the only thing that you really need to do is, as you can see, your main part node is running right now. So you just open your Cloud UI, log in, go to the upgrade tab, and decide whatever you need. Like whether or not maybe you want to upgrade to the micro, which has not 50 NVPS new values per second, but 100. And maybe you want to add also additional storage, like 90 gigs. And from those 90 gigs, 10 are still free. 10 are always free. You can see the price that will change for your monthly bill because the cloud is like subscription-based product. Click upgrade, and just like creating the node, the upgrade as well will take something around like 5-7 minutes until you have your upgraded node with increased capacity and increased performance. Maintenance. So the last tab in the node configuration, and maintenance is important because, as I said, like we're responsible to do everything in the background, and one thing is like adjusting the configuration file, which is actually the easiest part. The second thing is making sure that the software is up to date, and not only the Zabbix, because that's a big shift for us and something new, because suddenly we're responsible not only for the Zabbix as a monitoring software, but also for all the environment which is around it, like database, dependencies, operating system, patches. We are responsible to monitor for all the vulnerabilities, patch it, fix it, apply all the security fixes, and make sure that the quality of life of our customers are not really damaged, right? You shouldn't really feel anything bad out of that. That's why we have a maintenance tab. And in the maintenance tab, there's basically just one mandatory thing. You need to select at least 1 hour of the maintenance across period of the week. You can set more if you want, like if you are not so much worried about maintenance happening on your node and you want to really be always up to date, like if something new is released today, right now, you want to get the update this evening, just enable Thursday, set the time, and we're good. Maintenance is always there, but maintenance doesn't really mean that we really will do something. That's just a window when, if there will be something to do, we will do that. And what are actually the things that we may do on your cloud node? Obviously, the major Zabbix version upgrade, right? Also important, Zabbix Cloud will always go along the latest releases, but Thinking from the perspective of the customer, the major upgrade is always a bit scary. And despite like us taking care of upgrade itself, dependencies, database versions, operating systems, everyone who have the cloud will also have something of their own proxies, agents, data centers monitored, maybe some integrations, some API scripts. By the way, API is also fully supported. Remember, you have the static IP, so you can use it just like on the local installation. And we want to make sure that you are ready for the major upgrade. That's why like numbers might change. That's only the idea right now, is that whenever the new version of the Zabbix is released, let's say 7.2, it will take a little bit of additional time for us to make sure in the background that really like, okay, everything is set up and this version is ready to be deployed in the cloud and upgraded to the customers. So that will take a little bit of the time. And when we are ready, when we know that we are ready, we will also warn you and say that, hey, this node will be upgraded after, let's say, 2 weeks at this time. And we will give you also the ability to say, hey, I'm not ready. Let's postpone this for additional 2 weeks. Or probably for more brave people who have a button like, I don't want to wait, let's upgrade now. Or perhaps specify your own period when you want to do the upgrade within the range of this month. But what's important is that you will not have a chance to like opt out completely. Even if we're talking about the LTS version, you can delay, upgrade to 7.2, but eventually you'll have to do that. Minor versions, those are like simple ones. And for the minor versions, I think this might change, but I think we will not do like a lot of special preparation, because this shouldn't interfere with all of your existing monitoring setup, environment, scripts, whatever. So technically, this could happen just in the background, and in the morning when you come, you say like, oh, great, my Zabbix was upgraded to the latest minor version, and here are like the upgrade notes for that. And a platform upgrade, obviously, we need to keep the cloud safe and secure always, so those will come as well. Support options, very good question, right? And it's confusing because the cloud has the support tab, but what is super important to understand that support of the cloud platform is not the same as the Zabbix support as we know that. It's not the enterprise support, not the global. Basically, the cloud support covers the support of the platform. My node is not accessible. I am trying to upgrade my node and it doesn't work. I'm trying to downgrade my node and it doesn't work. I try to access API and it doesn't work. That is included in the support, which is included in the price of the cloud, of the Zabbix cloud platform. And if we go about the software-related questions, like how can I create a trigger, how can I create a template for this device or that device, those still remain as a separate services for which you can contact our sales team and choose like which is the most suitable for you. And the last thing to mention here, like if you already have the existing tier of the Zabbix support, Silver, Enterprise, Global, whatever, all of those also include the cloud installation. And if you want to request the support, like that's how the forum looks itself. Again, you log into the cloud UI, you have some issue types to choose from. Perhaps the list will grow over time, we'll see. And you can also choose like which node this is affecting, if it is about the node, or maybe it's just about making some sort of the payment. Write down the description, attachment. For those who are already signed up to the cloud, you probably know like this is actually not there. It's going to be there very soon. This is one of the things that we want to add like really fast. And whenever you create the support ticket, we already have like all the workflows, all the integrations in place to have someone as fast as possible to assist you. But again, please keep in mind that support is for the platform support only. Security matters. And in a cloud, in a SaaS business, it matters even more because again, suddenly we're responsible not only like, we're not just giving you the tools to monitor, we're holding those tools and you are controlling us. So we are responsible to make sure that software is up to date, all the security patches applied, there are no vulnerabilities, your data is secure, talking about the data, if you're worried about like where it's actually going to be stored, whenever you're creating your node, you're choosing the region. That is the place where your data will be stored. And all of the environments, all the user environments are 100% independent. Like there are no shared resources across the cloud users. Your data is sitting in your database on your node. Nobody else doesn't have even, like in theory, any way to access it. Encryption, as I said previously, is available as well. But security comes at a price. And as you also see, like there are some things that are not available in the Zabbix cloud. As example, the no remote commands on the Zabbix server, which is just, we don't want people to mess around on the server nodes themselves. That is our responsibility. We deliver like all the tuning patches and everything. So for the user, there's no need to be there. And additionally, like if someone with any means compromises the security of your Zabbix front end, we don't want them to have even close access to the server itself, where they again could get some important information. Same reason for web authentication, ODBC, like that's a very challenging thing for us to support it, but basically right now in the beginning we do support only MySQL and PostgreSQL databases for ODBC monitoring. Potentially in the future there might come more, but if you have some more unpopular databases or whatever, it's questionable will it be possible. No alert and external scripts. So in short, like whenever we talk about the need to put something on your server, we take it with a very big cautious because we need to validate and make sure that everything that is uploaded on a server, as example, the certificates for encryption, are actually safe and they're not going to be the vector for the attack. That's why some things like SAML certificate upload, we actually noticed it just quite recently. That is going to come very soon. Like there will be ability to use the SAML authentication. Don't worry, we just need to give you ability to again upload the certificates to the Zabbix frontend. And if we talk about the roadmap, it's big. It's big. The Zabbix cloud is in early access and it's in a very like baby steps. It has all the core functionality needed. You can proxies, like it's mentioned also here, but proxies are supported right now. You can deploy the proxy in AWS, you can deploy it in your office, home, whatever, connect the proxy to the Zabbix Cloud node, it's gonna work. What is coming in the future is ability to create proxies in the cloud itself. And it also will have two different ways how you can do that. Maybe you wanna create a proxy and connect it to your cloud server node, or perhaps you don't even have a cloud server node and you just need a proxy somewhere in Asia or United States or whatever, so you deploy the proxy in the clouds and connect it to the server which is located at your premise. Backup improvements, I mentioned previously, like we have backups, those are happening in an automated way for free, included in the price of the node once per 7 days. And you have ability to create your own backups as much as you need. But right now, there's just one type of the backup. You back up your whole node, which is tied to the node. So if you delete the node, backup is gone. And you don't have ability to download the backup or, let's say, export it to the third-party service or storage or whatever, which is a limitation because obviously you don't want to hold like everything in one basket. And that is one thing that we will work on pretty fast, and I think it should be delivered like in Q1 next year, to improve the backups, to give you, hopefully give you functionality to separate configuration and history backup, give you the option to download, give you the option to store it somewhere else. And very important point is also migration from on-premise to the cloud. That is something we're thinking a lot right now, but it also includes many challenges. As you might understand, like if we're talking about some isolated environment of the Zabbix right now, hosted somewhere in, I don't know, data center, basement, whatever, to simply move it to the cloud, it includes like many many complicated things, like if we talk about, not even talking about some scripts or whatever that might be hosted, IP addresses, connections, firewall rules, which essentially means like there's still a lot of the manual labor. But nevertheless, like we'll do our best to make sure that the migration from on-prem to the cloud is possible, as smooth as possible, and will allow you to move as much as possible, but probably there's still going to be some additional work required, either done by you, or I'm sure that's also going to be possible to purchase as a migration service like from the Zabbix to move away to the cloud. So if you have, well, already over time, that's a common thing for me, unfortunately, but if you still want to talk about the Zabbix Cloud and you have some questions, then there's going to be the live demonstration tomorrow, 11:30, here on the stage. We're going to try to create some nodes, and that's, I think, going to be the perfect place to ask the questions right away from the place where you're sitting. There is available the cloud booth outside, right in front of the entrance when you come in, and there's going to be, you will find me and also the great colleagues from the Zabbix Cloud team. Upcoming webinars, just go to the zabbix.com/webinars. I think it was October 8th. We'll have one in the morning and one later in the evening. And if you have any other questions about a cloud, how it works, how you can start using it, how you can transform all of your existing monitored environment to the cloud, there's the good old contact us form in zabbix.com where you can reach out to our sales team who will gladly assist you and try to answer all of your questions. But so far, thank you guys for being here.